Hey everybody, it's John Merrill with Century 21 Miller. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun. I'm going to interview somebody that I work with fairly frequently in the course of my business. His name is Grant Morris, and he works with TLC Mortgage Group. And I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions. Some of them are going to be work related, some of them will be fun. So let's see what he has to say and get to know Grant. All right, so Grant, we talk all the time. We do a lot of business together. We've got a lot of mutual clients. And I think I know you pretty well, but I bet you some of the people that I'm introducing you to out in the field, if they're watching a video like this, might like to learn a bit more about you. So I'm going to run through a few questions. Some of them will be kind of work related. Some of them won't. And I think it's going to be fun. So let's get to know Grant.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
You ready? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I should let you know, I'm going to have a beer while we're doing this because this is, it's after 5 o'clock, so I think it's happy hour. And, oh, look at that. You're
already there, my friend.
You don't miss a beat.
Nope.
All right.
What we do.
In that case, cheers. And so, Grant, tell us a bit about what you did before you got into mortgages.
Mainly sales roles. I've been in sales roles since I was 18 or 19. But directly before this, I was at Future Shop for a number of years. The last year before they shut their doors, I was actually #1 salesperson in Canada for home theater and appliances. Something that I'm quite proud of. Canada is a pretty decent sized country, so there was some competition. So kind of nice to finish at the top there. And then they closed their doors, and I was just introduced to my current broker. We went out for lunch, and yeah, that was it. Kind of took a chance on something that I was not familiar with, but had the skills to transfer over, and it's done quite well.
Well, I think that kind of answers my next question as well. I was going to ask you what made you want to become a mortgage broker, but it sounds like it was lunch with Jason.
Pretty much. That was it. It was honestly, we were all just laid off. Here's your package. Out the door you go. Stores are closed. Someone came along, and truthfully, if it was somebody else, I don't think I would have said yes because it was a big risk. But I liked Jason's attitude and his personality. We kind of just meshed, and I knew a few people that he had contact with, and they all said great things about him. And I just decided to trust him and take a leap. And thankfully, my wife was on board for it too, because it was a bit of a financial risk at first. But yeah, that was it. It's just, it happened, and it's been great ever since.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear it's worked out. And I guess the reality is, since we do work together, I would have gathered it's worked out because you seem to be doing pretty well. Unrelated to work, I'm curious what kind of chips you like.
The fun questions. There's a few. I'm going to say spicy Doritos. Those are probably my absolute favorite, are spicy Doritos.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't go that route, but everybody's got their own flavor.
That's it.
All right. So, what about music? What are you listening to? Who are you listening to?
I'm going to give the standard answer that it's all over the place. The last few years, I've gotten really big into like new country rock, mainly because I've been playing drums since I was 11, and I can appreciate that there's still musicianship or real instruments going on with modern country rock. But I do a lot of Sleeping with Sirens, Bring Me the Horizon, a lot of heavier stuff like that as well. So kind of all over, but I'm starting to sound old. I grew up with The Edge. Really not a fan of what's playing on The Edge anymore. It's just not my thing anymore, man.
No, there's still one of the presets in the car, but I have to admit I'm not usually on 102.1.
I will agree. Give me Green Day's Dookie anytime, and I'm happy.
Well, the Edge still mixes in some of that 90s alternative, which is nice, but a lot of the new stuff is I'm not sure we'll be listening to it in 20, 30 years like we are the
Well,
90s alternative.
it's funny though, because growing up as a kid, I always said I'm not going to be like my parents. You know, I'm going to keep an open mind with music, and I just some of it I just can't do. But that's topic for another one because that'll get heated real fast.
That'll be a whole conversation to itself. So with that in mind, I'll get on to the next question so we don't take too long here. But what's the strangest situation you've encountered trying to get somebody approved for a mortgage?
Um, Probably having to account for horse payments. That was a new one. You can finance a horse. It makes sense. A good horse can be expensive,
Yeah.
but yeah, not something that that I ever thought I would come across. But I think within my first year, uh, the strange part of the business hit me. Dealing with clients in Oakville and Burlington, you know, as a kid, you see that Ferrari or Porsche driving by and you're like, man, that guy's got money. But then I got into the business and it's more like, that guy's got some debt. And that was kind of a strange realization. So maybe not the strangest thing I've ever dealt with on a specific file. I'll give that to a horse. But in general, just kind of the change in mindset was strange to come face to face with.
Yeah, I can imagine. I see it all the time. All right. So what's something that people might not know about you? We heard that you were a drummer, so we already know that. You got to come with something else.
Yeah, I gave that one away. What wouldn't people know about me that I feel like sharing on a internet video? I had open heart surgery when I was 23 or 24, something like that. Not too many people would know that. But you know, sucked at the time, blip on the radar now, and I'm glad I did it. But yeah, I guess people wouldn't know that.
All right. Well, hopefully you're staying healthy and you won't have to be under the knife again anytime soon.
Well, I hope so. Apparently this thing's made of the same stuff they do on the outside of space shuttles. So it should outlast me, which is okay, I suppose.
There you go. Excellent. So what would be the largest number of lenders you've had to, or longest timeline, if that makes sense, to get somebody approved? You know, do you have to hit up 10, 20 lenders before you get an approval in some cases?
There have been times actually. I try and keep a list of all the lenders that I've spoken with on specific files. And there was one file where I hit up about 18 different lenders trying to get an approval. So that was a tough file.
Finally got it?
Yeah, we did get it. That was an interesting one. Obviously can't go into all the details for privacy, but that was an interesting file. As far as the longest time frame, I had a client where we spent probably 1.5 to 2 years creating, planning, and executing a solution for them. That was a very difficult one to get done as well. It took a long time, but it did get done.
So what we can take away from that is that you're going to help people put a plan together if they don't qualify now, and you also put the time in to make sure they get approved by somebody. If
Yeah,
someone can get it, it's going to be you.
well, truthfully, I'm stubborn as hell. I hate to lose, and oddly enough, I had a sales role when I was younger that I absolutely sucked at. But in the interview, they actually asked me, "Do you love to win or hate to lose?" And at the time, I answered that I love to win. And by the time the interview was over, I had definitely changed my mindset. I was someone who hated to lose as opposed to love to win.
Right.
And I mean, that's probably 8-10 years ago now, and that still sticks with me on a daily basis. I hate to lose, and I think right now that's an incredibly important mindset.
Well, I don't think we've had a mutual client that you haven't gotten approved, and those that aren't there yet, we together with other partners on our team are working to get them in a position where they are going to be approved.
Yeah, I refuse to kick anyone to the curb. I don't think that's fair. We're here to do them a service, and that service isn't saying, bye, come back in a year. It's, hey, we can't do this right now. Let me help you get there. But again, stubborn to a fault. Sorry?
You'll be there with them for the year, helping them along the way.
I try.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So outside of work, Grant, what are some of your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
Definitely a big fan of golf. That might be industry related, not sure, but definitely a fan of golf. Big gamer. You know, we can say I'm a nerd, but I'm a huge fan of gaming. I have been ever since I was a kid, and I still play Xbox to this day. Don't tell anyone. Kind of embarrassing. Yeah, well, hey, it's out there now.
Well, and people are going to laugh because they know I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of it, and I've known, like, I know people who do it for a living, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I heard about that.
Yeah, big business.
Well, that's cool. So, so why do clients like working with you?
It's a good question. I have no idea. If I had to take a guess, honestly, I do think it's because I won't kick anyone to the curb. I work with everyone. I'm a big proponent of education. I think mortgages and financing or finances in general, aren't something that we really talk about when we're growing up. I don't know about you. It's not something that my parents ever really shared with me. And I think it's important. I think it needs to be spoken about more. And if I can help educate people and understand where they're at, why they're there, how we're going to fix it, or, you know, even why they're only able to borrow so much money when they want more. Education is a big piece, but more so than just the education, it's making it relatable and digestible. I can go through every acronym in the book with you, but if you don't understand it, it doesn't mean anything. So being able to make something that is potentially complex, like a mortgage, and making it relatable and easy to understand so that you feel like we're on the same page and you're not walking out of a meeting or hanging up a phone call feeling like I've completely confused you. I think that's huge for a lot of people. And that's the feedback that I get from a lot of clients, and that's why I have a lot of repeat business and referrals.
Well, I know there's been a lot of talk about adding financial literacy to curriculum, whether it be in high school or at various stages of your educational career. But you're right, there isn't a lot on it, and I think it's a missing link. No matter how well versed in it you may be or I may be, I'm sure more we could all learn. But it is surprising sometimes when you encounter people who are trying to, say, buy a home and don't have a sense for the topics at hand in any way whatsoever. And so there is a lot of hand-holding and coaching, and I can see that would be, in some cases, a big part of your job, especially when it comes to credit counseling and things like that.
It can be difficult to have those conversations, but I think at the end of the day, they're needed, and most people feel.
Well, they come out better for it.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as you're doing somebody a service and providing value, then I don't think tough conversations are something that need to be shied away from. And sometimes conversations around financing are hard. So
I can think of examples, and they're mutual examples, people that we both worked with who thought they would never buy, they'd never be in that position. And with a little bit of work to get credit rehabilitated and whatnot, they were able to purchase homes, and those homes have now gone up in value. And to take somebody who never thought that they would be able to buy, that they'd be renting forever, paying somebody else's mortgage, who are now building wealth and building equity that they never even prior to meeting you or I never thought they could do. So it's rewarding. At least I think so, and I imagine you feel the same way. So,
yeah, I mean, it was nice selling TVs and appliances at Future Shop, but this is definitely rewarding on a whole other level. So
yeah, but I mean, it'd be nice if they, some of these things were learned at an earlier stage. I agree that
Yeah.
literacy should be taught much earlier if at all, in people's educational careers. But anyway, Grant, that's I think that's all I got for questions today. But it's good chatting with you. And
Thank you very much. You too.
some of our current and future clients watching this video will have learned a little bit more about you.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much. And yeah, let's keep at it. And I mean, if anyone has any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out. But yeah. Other than that, go out, do something new, learn something new, have some fun.
Our quarantine, but I'm gonna continue enjoying my beer.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go have dinner and grab another one. I'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. See you, Grant.
All right, see ya.